What's up, everybody? In today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast, we get to the crux of this slave mentality when it comes to fashion. Man, what is really going on in these streets? We have some voicemails from some of our favorite people, and we talk about another quotable moment from the Cheeto in office. All this and more on today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast.
Shiitake.
Pew, 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 pew. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 118 of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I don't know what language that is, but I'm Jared.
What's up, people? I'm Jay.
And we're back and at it again. Jay, man, how's it going? How was your week?
Oh boy, dude, I'm exhausted. It's been an exhausting week, I gotta say, man. Started the week off thinking I fractured my foot. I couldn't walk.
Oh yeah.
From all the excessive exercise and exercise routine I got going on. Mm-hmm. Trying to get my beach body ready.
Beach body.
Because we may go to, seems like the plan now is to go to Orlando for the summer.
That's cool.
Take the kids, so my kids, my brother-in-law, his wife, and their kids, everybody going to Disney World. Yay, Disney World. So, yeah, do that and then possibly go to the beach one of those days. So, So I spent my week trying to repair that foot.
Yeah.
Like I say, thinking it was fractured, it wasn't fractured, went to the doctor, so they confirmed it was just a bad sprain. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, then, of course, had to start on the taxes. Got to start on these taxes so I get that tax refund to fund the trip. Mm-hmm. So, didn't finish just yet, but I should finish today sometime.
Yeah.
Man, but what else happened? Got contacted by a company who wanted me to, who I applied to, for the job. And they was like, hey, you got a portfolio we can see? And then, of course, I'm like, damn, as long as I've been doing this, I completely forgot to update a portfolio or get something online. So I had to scramble to get some stuff together to get a portfolio together online. That took forever. Yeah. I don't think it didn't go as planned because my current work, I can't really take anything and put online. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like confidential type stuff. So, yeah, did that. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. If I hear back from them, cool. If I don't, cool. It doesn't make any difference to me.
Yeah. Do you have any? I guess so. You used a bunch of older stuff.
I mean, some older stuff, some kind of sort of current stuff. Just nothing advertising related, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I did that. All that. What else, man? It's just like I said, it's been a insanely busy week. Talked to one of my good friends' sister. She wants me, she's commissioning me to do some work for her. Mm-hmm. So I got to get that started. Got some other projects I got to get started because not only do I do design work, I'm also a woodworker as well. I craft wood. I do other stuff too. So I got a big project on. Yeah, I work with a lot of wood, man. Yeah, so that. Then, of course, past couple of days, my little guy was sick, so he's been keeping people up. I was staying up with him all night last night, so I think I got maybe 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, possibly. So, yeah, there you have it. A week in the life of Jay.
Wow.
How about you?
It's wild. Okay, so this week sort of started out the week before. My son plays, Little League basketball here or whatever, rec league basketball. And, sort of the Friday before, 2 Fridays ago, he had his, it was sort of like the basketball team party, at the end of the season. They had a good year. They lost 1 game.
That's cool.
And so, and the coach, this is his second year, being with this coach. Actually, the coach's kid was on Jackson's football team this past fall. So, and to be honest, actually, the coach, you know, just randomly is a classmate of my wife's, a high school or a middle school classmate of my wife, something like that. So it's just a random occurrence, you know, coincidence. Anyway, so all that being said, you know, I thought those seemed like a pretty good relationship overall, so no problems. Well, you know, Jackson was sort of wanted to go to this party, but then he was reluctant to go to the party. And then all of a sudden he didn't want to go to the party on the day of after we've already committed to going to the party. So we're like, man, you've already committed. You know, you're just going to go. It's just a couple hours. You're just having pizza and watching the basketball game that's on that night, whatever. So went, you know, I went and picked him up. When I dropped him off, like he seemed like everything was good. You know what I'm saying? Dropped him off, went and picked him up. And then, you know, it was, seemed all right. So we left. So then later that night, he like told my wife and I that, you know, some kids made some comments to him, and I was like, what? So you know, this one kid, these two kids, the coach's son, and then this other random kid that's on there, made some comments. Like it was one joke that was, what is it? And this is a quote from a kid. Mexicans go to Jupiter to get stupiders. Niggers go to Mars because they're always behind bars.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Well, I wonder where he heard that from.
Right? And then, but I don't think it was, but apparently it was not the coach's kid. It was this other kid. But, you know, the coach's kid and this kid and a few other kids on the team, you know, have played, you know, other sports together, baseball together, and other sports, basketball, you know, for several years. So, you know, they're all buddy, you know what I'm saying? That's because they go from team to team together. And then, you know, that same kid, not the coach's son, mind you, again, or maybe it was, I don't know, I wasn't there to really hear it, so I didn't know exactly whose mouth it came out of. But kid said, man, Jackson, I thought all black people were really good at basketball. Apparently not. And I mean, Jackson's still learning. This is only like the second or third time he's played. So,
yeah.
You know, but apparently he didn't like that. And, you know, and I guess before they really got to eating pizza and before the basketball game came on that night that they were watching, you know, they were outside actually playing basketball on the goal outside. And yeah, Jackson was, you know, hard fouling everybody. So because of that, or not everybody, but like those two kids specifically. There's some other kids on, you know, on the team who were just basically trying to say, why are you doing that? Why are you talking like that? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Jackson, when he feels threatened, and I told him, I was like, man, you know, if you ever feel in a situation where you can't get out and, you know, and you can't, you know, find somebody to talk to, you know, you can't, you know, find a way to contact us, and you feel threatened, you might have to do what you got to do. So I guess he was doing what he had to do by hard following these kids, right?
Just playing prison rules.
Pretty much, man. They used to call it ghetto ball when I was a kid. And so, yeah, so let's see here. So apparently that was going back and forth.
Man, that sucks, man.
And you know, when I got there to pick him up, nobody gave any indication about that, you know, anything that happened. So, and Jackson, I guess he had reluctantly told us that because he like didn't want us to feel bad. He's like scared that if he tells me something that's like, you know, racially offensive, that I would be sad or offended or something. But
Right.
I've always told him, you know, in any other situation, you know, where he got in an argument with the kid, you know, who may have said something like that or not. No, he never really had that. So I was just always like, hey, if any kid or anybody ever tells you anything that you think is racist, don't be afraid to tell me, and don't be afraid to tell your mom, because I've heard it all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And where our parents grew up, where my parents grew up, in the time in our country that they grew up, man, they've seen it all. They have told us stories, you know, as I was growing up.
And they've got it a lot worse.
They've gotten so much worse, you know? And so I was like, you know what? You can tell me anything. You can tell your mom anything. Like, we'll, you know, because we've heard it as an interracial couple. You know, we've heard it, and I've heard it individually. I'm like, you can't You can't tell me nothing I haven't heard before, or something that is close to what I've heard. Now, I had never heard that joke about Jupiter and Mars. Now that was a new one, but still, So he was sort of rest assured about that, and he was like telling me, "Dad, you need to call the coach tonight. Call him. I hate those kids. I never want to be on their team. I don't want you to invite them to our football team next year. Blah blah blah." So I was like, I wanted to call him, but I needed to collect my thoughts because I don't know me. Sometimes I used to respond, immediately without thinking through everything that I needed to say and every point I wanted to get across. But I thought through it. And so the next morning, Saturday morning, I went to boxing. And man, I tore that bag up. But then after that, as I was driving home, I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. So basically what I told him was, Jackson, told me about, something happened last night at the party. And he told me exactly what happened. He told me what these kids said, blah, blah, blah. And then apparently he told me that it's been going on throughout the season, but, it's sort of not been checked. So, it hadn't come from the coaches according to what he said. It was just like those two specific kids. So, Jackson can't be on your team no more. That is what it is. And so he called me back and he's like, I'm really sorry to hear that. There's no place for that in sports. There's no place for that in youth sports, especially with these kids on my team. There's no place for that on my team. So, I really apologize for that. He said, I asked my kid and, my kid was picking at him. And he said the other kid was the one who said the whatever, the racist joke or whatever. And he was like, what did he say? He said, I'm just sorry for it. He did say, he's like, yeah, I did find out, that they were playing on the basketball court, and Jackson was like, being super aggressive, hard fouling people, and I was just trying to, talk to them and calm them all down from doing that, because that wasn't cool for anybody to be doing that. But he didn't know that there was like a what do you call it, like what the reason for that was. So he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but like I didn't, whatever. And I was like, why ain't nobody tell me that when I showed up? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you not want there to be an issue when I was there? Because I would have had an issue right in the moment, obviously. But I'm just like, why didn't he say, why didn't he say anything? And at that point, I was just like, you know what? All right, bye. I didn't really want to talk to him no more. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So it sucks because there's one kid who is buddy with that same kid, with the coach's son, on Jackson team, but he's not, like, apparently he wasn't, a part of the group of kids that were, or the couple kids that were, making comments to Jackson. Even though he'd sort of picked on him throughout the year, but it was also sort of one of those things where it's sort of like groupthink, everybody's sort of saying the same type of thing, regardless if they feel it or not. So he said like something like that, but he was just sort of like making fun. It wasn't, he wasn't actually, saying anything offensive or anything. That only happened like a couple times during the season, according to Jackson. So, but yeah, I mean, that kid seems like a good kid to me. I never had an issue with him, like this third kid I'm talking about. His family seems nice, never had issue, but they are closely tied through another sport, with the coach's son and some of these other kids. So Jackson's like, don't even invite him back to the team. I was like, really? So, yeah, man, but I told him, I didn't tell him immediately that day, but that was like early Saturday morning. I basically, that was the Saturday before Super Bowl. So, I told the coach that morning, I was like, hey, I don't want to start your Saturday off like this, but this is what happened. So I didn't tell Jackson that day that I talked to the coach, just because I needed him to, sort of mentally calm down too, because he'll he gets heated pretty quickly. But I did tell him the next day. You know what happened, and I was just like, hey, we're here for you. We don't want you to feel like you can't tell us anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that's our job as your parents. Like, we are here to obviously protect you and whatever else is going on. So he's like, all right, thanks. I told him, we won't be having those kids back on our team anymore. So there you go. It was sort of wild, but yeah, man.
Crazy.
So that started out the
crazy.
week, really. To be honest. And then, what is it? Then the rest of the week was okay. It was sort of busy just with kids doing stuff, different things they do. And Jackson actually has gotten to hip hop class now. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing hip hop here. I guess it was supposed to start this week, but we had a blizzard that blew through. And everybody had a snow day on Wednesday. Schools hadn't had a snow day in like 20-something years. Actually, my wife told me the last time there was a snow day was the year she graduated.
Wow,
for like
dang.
Salt Lake.
That's crazy.
For like Salt Lake County schools, I guess. And she actually said the last day of school it snowed on June 5th when she was her senior year. So that's crazy. But no, we had a snow day on Wednesday, and I mean it snowed like 2+ feet. So we're all over the place doing that. Yeah, so we started off terribly, but ended up on a positive note. So, and now we back to this foolishness. So
Of course.
yes,
Nice.
indeed. Yes, indeed. So yeah, last week's episode 117, we had Sir John Lee talking about his recent release, and you know what? And yeah, you guys definitely go check that out on our Anchor page, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you would normally, wherever you normally listen to podcasts. That's where you can find our podcast. But one thing that I think we forgot to talk about, and I realized that this week, it's like, hey, we didn't even ask him about the time that he got, like that time frame of mentorship he got from King Push, from Pusha T at the hip hop.
Yeah. I remember.
I mean, yeah, I look back at some of his pictures and I was like, man, we didn't even ask him about, what it was like to meet Pusha T and him to talk about his music with him, and it's interesting because, from that moment, he was like, I'm going to get back to work in the lab. And then, the City Project dropped and he's working on some other stuff. And you could tell that there's a difference between, this music that he just released, the little snippets that we've heard of some other stuff, and his previous music. So I'm sure that was an extremely helpful situation.
For sure.
Yeah. So we missed that opportunity. So we're going to have to talk to him about that at some point in time again when we bring him back.
Yep.
But
The next episode.
So before we listen to these voicemails, Jay, why don't you tell the people where they can leave us voicemail?
All right, people. 3853-BLAKPC. That's 353-252-2572. Call us, leave us a voicemail. Let us know how your week is going. Let us know all the good and bad things going on in your life.
All right, here we go. So, first one is from a familiar voice. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, brothers? This is Mrs. Diva. I just got to listen to episode 116. Great episode as always. And this is your Memphis, Tennessee correspondent. I have surgery Friday, y'all. It's my first time in my life ever having surgery, and I have to be put under anesthesia. I have trigger thumb. Look it up. My thumb is swollen like 3 times the size.
Oh, boy.
Bend. And, no, I haven't been grabbing on no men. And,
Okay, I was about to ask that.
It hurts when I move it. I can't grip anything. No, I ain't gripping on no men. But, yet. But, yeah, they gotta cut my hand and just look it up. It's called trigger thumb.
Trigger thumb.
And, trigger thumb surgery. YouTube has a good thing on it. So, yeah, it's outpatient surgery. My mom's coming with me. Pray for me, okay? I don't know if you should pray for her and me. And I hope to God I don't come out of anesthesiology talking real crazy. Yeah, just saying stuff like I ain't got no business. Bad enough I got to go hide some stuff in my house before my mama come home. We'll talk about that later. Okay, bye.
That's crazy. Wow.
She said she had to hide some stuff in her house before her mama come home.
Uh-oh. Wonder what that could be.
Wow. So trigger thumb, huh? Trigger thumb. Yeah, thanks for the voicemail, Kayla. Sorry to hear that. And yeah, praying that your body heals up, quickly.
And nobody's recording you as you come out of anesthesia.
I mean, it's sort of sad. I would actually want to hear her talking, some crazy stuff after anesthesia. Because, like if you ever had your, what do you call that? Your wisdom teeth pulled or something like that. They put you under?
Oh, no, they haven't put me under.
They never put you under?
No, sir.
Oh, dog. They put me under.
They just yank them suckers out, man.
Is that right? See, that's what happens deep down in the south in the country of Louisiana.
No, that was here in Texas.
What? Really?
All my wisdom teeth came out straight, except for one.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, the dentist thought, hey, it's a good idea just to take them all out. I still got two, but I have like 4 teeth that have been taken out, and none of them have been, I haven't had to go under any type of anesthesia.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. Didn't know that. Well, I remember when I was maybe like 15, 16-ish, having to go to, get my wisdom teeth pulled. They gave me laughing gas. I remember I thought the doctor was so hilarious, or the dentist was. Then I remember waking up and my mouth feeling like, like it was full of, a big, huge pillow, all gauze, really. And I remember trying to hit on the dental technicians there. They were sort of cute. So, me and my, teenage body, I thought I was ready to go. But I was really just talking crazy talk after being under anesthesia. So, wow. So, so trigger thumb. Apparently, it actually happens in multiple fingers. It's potentially could happen in multiple fingers where you have a lump at the base of your finger, and your tendons do not, your tendons and your flexor tendons don't really work properly with the pulleys in your fingers, and they become inflamed. Could get some nodules. It can actually, swell up and where you can't move your fingers. So you got to get that stuff taken care of and pieces pulled out or cut out, and wow. So hopefully, Kayla, you're you're at home, your fingers, your thumb's getting better, and you're practicing the man grab or whatever you were talking about on there.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. And hopefully you hid some stuff from your mom. What type of things do you think she's trying to hide from her mama before she got there?
Hey man, I don't know. I don't want to make I don't want to speculate what's in there. I mean, could have been like some love box paraphernalia. Maybe she had like a actual love box cage like we saw. Love box contraption. Maybe it was hidden in one room.
Maybe so.
Maybe I have a friend who has a oh man, should I even say this?
Yes.
A suction cup dildo that sticks on the wall.
Wow.
Yeah. So you never know what's hidden in the house. What's in the house, man?
You are correct. Maybe she has a collection of geoducks. You know what a geoduck is? You know what a geoduck is?
I don't know what a geoduck is.
Look at the picture I just sent you.
A geoduck. Interesting. Why did I see this? Didn't I see this on? I saw a video of this. Like, does it go limp or something? You pour water on it, and
no, it actually comes out of the water. So a geoduck looks like a penis and two balls. right?
Yeah.
It is a delicacy actually to eat in some parts of the world. It's a large clam native to the west coast of North America. So hey, if you're up there in, it's really like the northwest coast. So if you're up like Northern California, Washington State, Canada, Oregon, along the coast, you can find this. So unlike a giant clam shell, which is almost all shell, the geoduck has a small shell compared to the rest of its body, and the rest of its body is a big, soft, long schlong. It can be compared to a penis or a humongous, oversized thumb. Speaking of thumbs,
Well.
yeah, that normally, you might see the shell, sort of poking out of the water, and it could be harvested, by scooping it out, or sometimes you'll see the penis part, sort of hanging out of the water, and it looked like, a big long schlong, and with it being in the water, the schlong part could actually drip a little bit, so looks like
interesting,
dripping semen. Yes.
Pretty cool.
So there you go, geoduck. Look it up.
Pretty cool.
Wow. If you ever have, and it's spelled geoduck, Geoduck, but it's pronounced geoduck. So if you ever have, a meal that's like clam chowder or anything with clam, you may just be eating penis-shaped clam.
The penis and balls of the sea.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Yes, indeed. So, hey, Kayla, if you have a geoduck collection, you put it out there and let everybody know it. Don't hide it from your mama. She needs to know about that.
She may want to take one home.
Yes, indeed. All right, here we go.
Hashtag Blackout Podcast. Oh, I just had to sneeze. Look, it's Memphis Diva, your Memphis correspondent over here. Hey, y'all, I was looking on social media, and I know y'all seen where Bow Wow had a mugshot, and he was scratched up pretty bad. Looks like to me, he just let her do what she had to, which I commend him on that, but I don't know all the details, but, in a society where we live, I listen to a lot of people, and a lot of guys say, I'm going to let you hit me one time, and then, and if I tell you to stop, and you keep on, I'm going to have to pop you. So, what do you guys feel about that? About, I was taught, the way my parents taught me was, you don't hit a man unless you want to get hit back, because 9 times out of 10, he going to hit you back. And that's just, but now that I think of it, my mama always hit my pop. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wow.
It was one time, my dad, the Jerry curls were popular, in the early 80s. And he was supposed to bring some grocery home, and he went and got his hair did, and then he brought the grocery home. And my mother was cooking some cornbread, and she threw the cornbread batter at him.
Damn.
And we were outside playing, and he ran out the door with cornbread batter in his Jerry curl.
Right.
Okay, let me think on that one. I'll talk to y'all later.
Wow. Yeah, man. So, what do you think about that topic? I mean, yeah, we got to talk about, we didn't really talk about Bow Wow and
man.
Kiyomi Leslie's arrest and their fight, and Bow Wow looking like he got touched
both
up
of
pretty
them.
bad.
Yeah, both of them arrested.
Yeah.
Man. I don't. It's a tough one because, of course, he gets his hands, or he puts his hands on her, and I know there's some video that was recently released about this, like showing, I guess, the moments leading up to that.
Oh, really?
I hadn't watched it, but I just see it floating around. Me personally, I wouldn't have let her put her hands on me but then, of course, at the same time, I wouldn't put my hands on her. I tried my best to avoid it as best I could. Of course, if he put his hands on her, he'd be the bad guy in the situation. You can't have another like Chris Brown situation going on like he did with Rihanna. I don't know, man. It's a crazy one, and especially Memphis Diva's comment about guys letting a woman get a couple hits in or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't do it. And then I was always told, man, you wanna jump and fight up like a man, you could get knocked down like a man too. So
yeah.
It's one of those things, man. A man is always going to get the blame for that type of thing because I guess we're physically stronger.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about something that I thought of this week, but I'll probably save that for another day.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird one. It's a tough one to try and analyze and see who's the right and wrong. But I really want to know what the argument was about. Did they ever even come out with the argument was about?
Yeah, actually,
because I didn't follow the story at all.
They actually did, and I'm looking at a picture, several pictures of them together, a couple pictures of them together, and looking at them, she has sort of like a smirky of a smile. He is not smiling, but the look on his face in this picture tells you, and it's not from the same night, not from the same situation, but look on this face tells you that they probably literally just had an argument before posing for this photo on the red carpet wherever they are.
He actually looked high.
Yeah, looks a little high. He also looks
either that or he was crying. One of the
yes, that's all I'm gonna say. He looked hurt. Like he looked like she told him something. And I mean, she's a little bit wider than him, so he's Bow Wow. He's a slight guy. But now, that all that being said, yeah, it just looks like that. They had just had some kind of verbal something back and forth. And apparently, what happened was the party that they went to. She. I guess what the police report states is that he thinks that she disrespected him by hanging all over and talking to another guy, throughout the night or a lot during that night. When Bow Wow came to confront him about it, she called him a bitch ass nigga. So, that doesn't always go over well. When they got home, there's two different, sort of sides to this story. So he just states, he took her bags and brought him to the door and said, get out. She threw a lamp at him, which apparently missed him. But then she scratched up his face, somehow. So I guess she came at him too. So I don't know how close the range was, the lamp throw and then the follow-up scratch attack. But that's what happened. But then she also claims that, he grabbed her hair. He hit her upside the head, pulled her hair and dragged her from the bedroom, out of the bedroom.
Okay.
And told her to get out. So these are the two sides of the report. Obviously, there has to be somebody has to be right, somebody has to be wrong, in the situation. I don't know who it was. Obviously, none of us were there. Me growing up, my parents taught me, never hit a woman. Like, that's against the rules. But, they also said, if a female does hit you and you're threatened, and you feel threatened, then you sort of have to stand up for yourself and do what you got to do. But at all costs, try not to hit a female. And thankfully, I was never put in that situation. But that's sort of what I was taught, and I never had to fight my way out of a situation. Fighting a girl, because I was a ladies' man. But
I fought one.
Did you really?
Well, back in fourth grade.
Was she bigger than you?
No. She just kept messing with me and kicking me in class. So, and I feel bad about it to this day. But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. Fifth grade. My bad. Fifth grade. So I forgot what class we were in, but she sat right behind me. She kept kicking me. I'm like, I kept telling her stop. Yes, stop, And then I could see she was like talking to her friends about me or something like that, or saying something sideways slick, And I paid it no mind. But then we got in the lunch line. I could see she's still looking at me, making little comments to her friends. And of course, my friends in the lunch line behind me were egging me on. So, I felt bad. I laid a couple hands on her. And, I did apologize to her. Yeah, so, I mean, it was young and dumb, man. I felt bad about it, still feel bad about it. But
she shouldn't have been kicking you, though, dog.
Hey, but but I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah,
I was young and dumb, man.
Tell you what, she probably actually liked you, and she didn't really.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. But whatever. I mean, we went to high school together, and it seems like it was all brushed under the rug. So, hey, it's smooth sailing, I guess, But in high school, I did see quite a few fights, men and boys and girls, which was crazy because them girls could scrap.
Yeah.
So, which probably happened in this case.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. It's crazy. Yeah, that's a crazy situation that you had, but it seems like you did what you had to do in your little kid mind. But
little kid mind.
I don't know. But then again, if you would have gotten in a relationship with her, it probably would have been one of these relationships where you guys were scrapping all the time, because that is a thing for some reason. People
fourth grade relationship.
Yeah, man.
Fifth grade relationship.
Fourth grade fighting relationship. I was gonna say, but back to this thing. I don't know, man. It's never really a good idea, obviously, for a man to put his hands on a female.
No.
I'd say maybe there's caveats where if your life feels threatened or something like that, and people will jump up and say, "Oh, why should a man feel threatened? Why should your life feel threatened? Because aren't men stronger than women, et cetera, et cetera." Which by physical nature, yes, normally. But if somebody is wielding a knife or a gun and the other person isn't, hey, if somebody has a broken bottle, if somebody has a lamp, and the other somebody has a chain or a whip or a geoduck, you know what I'm saying?
Don't want to get hit with the geoduck.
Don't want to get hit with nature's dildo. You don't. Anyway, so I'm just saying, you don't want. You don't want to be put in a situation where you have to come to that. But if you are and you feel threatened, you may need to do what you need to do to make your moves and get up out of there. Or separate yourself from the situation. But yeah, at all costs, it's not a good idea. So I don't know. In this situation, hopefully Bow Wow didn't do it. But I think initially everybody will. Have the thought process and mindset that, yeah, he totally did it, without hearing all the facts. So I guess we just need to hear all the facts and see what actually really happened, before we should make judgments about anything. So, yeah, either way, though, it's a silly situation. Bad situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Bad situation. So, wow, all right. Voicemails, done. Okay, so we could talk about the in-game trailer. We could skip it, We could talk about video games I played this week. We could skip it. Or we could just say that they were good. That's it.
Just make a quick rundown of it.
Okay, quickly. So I played the Jump Force beta. Jump Force is a game based off of Shonen Jump's manga series. A lot of characters that you may know from like the Dragon Ball Z's and Naruto's. and some other characters that you may not know from One Piece, etc. There may be even a Death Note character in there. A lot of nice anime, and yeah, it's basically like a fighting style, like Smash Bros. Meets Street Fighter meets Dragon Ball Fighters, etc. Man, game was so good. It was a good beta, free to download beta. Thankfully, I was able to actually play on the last day they had the beta open, and it's supposed to release here in I think the 15th. So thankfully, I got some Christmas money left, so I'm gonna pick that up. Another fun game. One of my coworkers told me about Nier Automata, which is also an anime release. And basically it's one of those, the world is taken over by, evil robots and aliens, and you have to, or robots, I guess, and you have to, basically use your android, to fight them off and win the world back. So started playing that. It's very cool because it has elements of platform, has open world, has that old school like Galaga fighting style feel. It has a little bit of first person action to it. It's interesting because what they did with this game is they mixed a ton of different video game styles into one, and they pulled it off pretty masterfully. So I bought it from Newegg for $45, digital download for the Xbox. Cool. I think that's the best way to go because that's the cheapest way to go. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found it on Amazon, and I found it where you could download it direct from. Actually, I did not find it on Amazon. I found it, I think, on Walmart, where you could buy the physical copy, and then also from Xbox. But those were both the normal $50 price for that. So I got it cheaper, thankfully, and it's been out for a minute now, so it's not like it's a brand new game that just released. But Nier Automata, very good game. If you like games with a story, that will take you probably like 16 hours or so, or 20 hours to finish, that's the game for you. Cool. Yeah, and then still with the PUBG, having a good time doing that. Got a chicken dinner on Sandhawk with my friends, so. So that was a good thing. Then the last one, a new Battle Royale game released called Apex Legends. It is similar to Halo. It's similar to Overwatch. It's similar to the new PUBG and Fortnite. It's similar to all those games mashed into one. But hey, it was a free download on Xbox. I think it's Xbox, PC, and there may be PlayStation 2 right now. PlayStation available right now as well. But yeah, it's a free download. So if you want to have a new game, find a new game to play, this is a free download available right now for all those systems I just mentioned. Cool. You can look it up, play it, and it's like the next big thing. Everybody's playing it right now. The great thing, the fact that it's free, gives access to everyone. The other thing is, you can level up within the game. You don't have to do microtransactions to buy stuff. And it's by EA, which oddly enough is the company that has forced a lot of people into microtransactions to level up on other games. Like the Star Wars is. So I guess they're trying to do an about face and trying to win back a fan base. So definitely try out Apex Legends. I played it quite a bit. It has a really good training segment on it. You have different soldier classes, and each game is 20 teams of 3 players each. You could either have your own party, or they'll put you with the party to play with, and you jump in and you just go at it. So it's pretty fun, pretty fast paced.
Is it like is it kind of like PUBG where the world, I guess, like your playing area kind of closes in on you?
Yeah, that's that same like battle royale style as PUBG and Fortnite, where the world starts to close. And you have like a zone that slowly closes, and the next zone opens up, until you go down. And yeah, man, it's a pretty interesting world, sort of fast paced, from what I've seen. But it's a big, huge world that you start in, and it slowly closes. So you could land out of the plane from anywhere in the world, and you just have to find your way on the other side of the world. Now the cool thing is this: there's a couple of different ways. In case you're way far away from the next safe zone, and safe zone meaning like the place where the world is going to shrink to next, or the play area is going to shrink to next. There's two characters who can basically effectively get you, across the world in, quick time. One is a robot. I can't remember his name, but he shoots out a zip line, and basically you can shoot the zip line from wherever you are, wherever you're standing, all the way to a rock or, some kind of statue formation or a building or whatever. And everyone on the team can ride the zip line all the way across. It's pretty quick. And you can also shoot and get shot from the zip line as well. So, it's strategy-wise, it's pretty cool too, because if you're in the middle of a fight and you have some people hiding behind a rock or something, you can throw a zip line up, hop on that zip line, and basically zip line and, get the right angle and shoot them behind a rock. So there's that guy, and then there's another girl. I can't remember her name either, just because I've just really, played some rounds, and I don't know everybody's names yet. But she makes a portal to teleport that's open for like 60 seconds. So if you see that the world is starting to shrink, she can start the one spot of the teleport, and she can run it wherever she wants to.
Sweet.
And whenever she puts the end of the teleport, it's open immediately, so you can jump through that port. And it's also available for other players on other teams too. So you sort of got to watch out for anybody following you through a teleport. Mm-hmm. But that could at least get you on the other side of the world very quickly, and get you into a safe zone. But the game is fun. It's just tough trying to learn maps and stuff like that. But it's definitely worth the free download and a couple rounds of play. So
sweet.
There you go.
Maybe I'll download it today.
Yes, indeed. So, in-game trailer. So, we saw that during the Super Bowl. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we can go through it, man.
Go for it.
I'm curious to know what the time span is from the snap to now, because it seems like there's like one part where it shows like a post on the wall, so it looks like some type of group meetings or something, like things that happened after the snap, or what to do after the snap, or something like that, or after people have disappeared. But I'm curious to know the time frame of that. I remember when we were talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people wondering what the timeline is, and a lot of people are thinking it was before this one, or actually before Infinity War, I should say. So a lot of people are coming up with that conclusion, even though that's kind of off subject of the end game, but still, just wanted to throw a little tidbit in there. I don't know, man. It looks cool. I want to see it. I really do. I just want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's this time frame that's like getting me super curious, man. I want to know what place it took, where did it take place at, how far it took place into the future after the snap. Who's going to come back? Apparently, it seems like Nebula and Tony Stark, or Nebula finds Tony Stark stranded in space or something. So, man, yeah, should be nice, should be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot that I have questions about that in-game trailer.
Did Shuri really get disintegrated? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, man. We don't know. It's crazy because you have these guys who you have these people who obviously we know that disintegrated to ashes. Mm-hmm. We have people who we know that made it. We saw the Captain Marvel trailer come out, and thankfully that's coming in March, so we got like a month and change for that to show up. And then right after that, the next month in April is Endgame. But then we also saw the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, which shows Spider-Man, obviously, shows other characters. So we're like, okay, who made it? Who didn't make it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And how did Spider-Man get back?
Yeah.
What happened there? Are we going to see Valkyrie maybe?
That's what I hear. Valkyrie, she's not dead. She's not dead.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting. Somebody posted some pictures of somebody posted pictures of the toys associated with, Endgame, the Avengers toys. And yeah, we saw Valkyrie toy. We saw, several others like the Hulk and the Thor, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and Wasp, an Ant-Man, a Man-Man toy, a Wasp toy. So it's interesting, a Hulk toy. So it's interesting seeing all these people come back in the form of a toy. So we know that somehow maybe they made it back. Hawkeye as well. So
and Hulk has a suit now. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the suit. They actually sort of did the animation, the CG on his face a little bit differently than we've seen him, in the past couple films he's been in as well. So he looks closer to, what's his name, who plays him, Mark Ruffalo, I think.
Yeah.
As a Hulk. So, yeah, it's the trailer. The continuation trailer looked good. How did Iron Man make it back to Earth? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yep.
But can't wait though.
Yes, indeed. Got to get through Captain Marvel first.
I think it would be cool though if, for any reason at all, I don't care what the reason is, Deadpool and Wolverine showed up.
Yeah.
And help fight Thanos. I know it probably won't happen. But
that would be cool. That would be pretty cool.
Great to see it nonetheless. Okay. All right. What's really going on in these streets, Jay?
I don't know. You tell me.
So tell us about this segment, how we started it last week, and we'll get into a couple more.
All right. So, like I said, last episode 117 with Sir John Lee. What's really going on in these streets? It was just a quick thought. Happened over the course of a day where I thought about this. There was just things that are going on in these streets that we can't explain. So what's really going on in these streets? And this week, we're bringing it back. So we may make it a regular segment. So what do you have for us today? What's going on in these streets in the world of Jared?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I'll say this. What's going on in the streets? I had two questions, but one question, I'm just going to save that for the Love Box segment because I think it only warrants just a very short amount of, mention. But what's really going on in these streets? So this week, yesterday, really, I saw that T.I. was live. And, Trouble Man, when he talks, it's fun to listen sometimes, especially when he's on live. So he was talking about Gucci, Prada, and Moncler, and why we should start boycotting, those clothing lines. I didn't really get it at first, and then so of course after he went off live, I looked into it a little bit, and yeah, he basically had a call to action. He said, stop buying Gucci for the next 3 months. If you own anything Gucci, don't wear it. And then he said, this means clothing, handbags, belts, shoes, cologne, perfume, everything. And then he said, share with your network. So, and then he also said, tag a black-owned business. So then I was like, well, what did Gucci do? So then I look back, and Gucci released a sweater that's basically like a turtleneck that can also be like you can go up and cover your face somehow, keep your face warm. But sweater's all black. The part that goes around your mouth has a cutout for your mouth, and it has a red, sort of red lipstick around it. So that's an immediate call to blackface, right?
Yeah.
Blackface from way back in the day. If you don't know what blackface is, my people, please look back. Please look up Amos and Andrew, whatever it is, from back in the day, among other things. Just look up blackface. Then he posts another picture. Prada, right? Prada released these black purses with red interior. And they had these little figurines hanging off, like these little doll things hanging off the, the side of the purse, just sort of like as a trinket, as an accessory, as a charm, if you will. So then it says Prada pulls figurines that resemble blackface from New York store. Yeah, it looked like it's like a little brown wooden doll with big wide red lips, black hair. Look like blackface, right?
And these were like just released, right?
Just released. I don't know how long they've been in the stores, but as far as we know, they were just released.
So,
but maybe
so
longer.
Funny. It's
then,
so silly.
Yeah, it's so silly. Then Montclair, which is a clothing brand, like a mountain-based clothing brand, from somewhere overseas, France or somewhere like that, somewhere stupid. They released a puffy coat, a puffy jacket, a parka, with a bunch of these jigaboo-looking faces, black faces, right? The eyes, the smile, the mammy smile, on the coat. They also released a t-shirt with that to go along with the coat. The outside and the interior have these blackface things on them. And then in their stores, if you look at some of their accessories they have what they call, they made it look like little penguins with the face on it. But we all know what it really is.
Right.
Bags, other little like statues and things like that with the blackface. So it's a hashtag us or else, all fists in the sky. Man. So my question is, about what's going on in these streets. Are we a slave to the jigaboo clothing? Are we a slave to the fashion, that's out there? Are we slave to just the fashion trends as a people? Or is the fashion trying to pander to us as a people? What's going on in these streets, man?
Hey, are we a slave to the fashion? It's crazy because I want to say yes and no. Because it seems like, especially like for me personally, I don't care. I don't wear Gucci, Prada, or any big design or expensive designer luxury brands like that. I say we are kind of a slave to it, because we see it amongst our celebrities, our of course our rappers, entertainers, musicians and stuff. They're always sporting some kind of thing, a Gucci brand belt, Gucci headband, Soulja Boy, Gucci shoes, Prada shoes, this, that, and the other, and I think a lot of the youngsters, a lot of people, period, feel like they should have that, that they want it. It looks good, whether we could afford it or not, they still want to try to get it. So it's a, I don't know, man. It's a yes and no. It's a loaded question with a lot of answers and a lot of spider webbing entangled into it. Cause it's different, man. It's an interesting question that'll take a long time to kind of unravel.
Yeah, this is true, and I mean I think it's a little bit of both, a little bit of yes and a little bit of no. I think every culture is slave to some kind of fashion. We as black people definitely, are slave a little bit to the tennis shoe fashion, to the sneaker fashion.
Jordan.
Which, man, and it's just sort of wild because hey, we grew up in a time where Michael Jordan, was a lot of people's basketball hero, was a lot of people's hero.
Yeah.
Like it or not, that is just the plain facts. He was the one of the few people that you could see in everyday society that crossed all cultures that, at the time seemed likable just because he was an athlete, not really knowing everything that was going on behind the scenes. Especially us as kids, or teens, whatever, during when he played. And even older people, all got into the Michael Jordan love. As he grew in fame and popularity, and Nike did a big push for his shoes.
Huge push.
Everybody fell in love with the shoes. People still fall in love. People still buy them for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the model that comes out. The line that comes out. And so I think, and I mean that crosses over more sneaker culture as well. Into other brands, into other athletes, into other artist special versions of shoes. It just happens. It is what it is. And so women, most of the time are associated with, the heels and the Louboutins and all this
Red
other shoe
bottoms.
fashion.
Yep.
And guys are associated with the sneaker fashion, trend. So I think a lot of times, they're a big subset of the people that are. And really, the sneakerhead fashion cuts across all cultures. Not really black, but since we're talking about black this time, it's really affected us, a lot. To where we'll kill somebody for some shoes.
Yep, we'll
fight somebody over some shoes.
We'll trample people in the store for some shoes.
I mean, it's like a Black Friday trying to get into the store to get some shoes. Like, for real,
dude.
Come on, man.
Man, I'm like, it's worse. It seems like it's worse now trying to get the shoes. I mean, going to the store, like I'd see news segments of people lined up around the block to get a pair of Jordans.
I've seen one of those lines before, man.
Like, I can't. Oh, I remember you did to get some
for the flu games. Yeah.
Like I couldn't do it nowadays, man. Back when I was younger, when it was different, and they didn't have like these big release dates or anything like that. I mean, they come out, but of course, those who knew who to talk to and who to go to, you could always get them early or whatever. Yep. But nowadays the game is different, Yep. I don't know, man. It's sure. Yeah, we love our fashion. We love to look good.
Yeah.
Even if we can't afford it, like I said earlier.
That's true, yeah. And I can't afford any of the Gucci or Prada. I think it's sort of ridiculous. People spend that much money on some clothes too. And I told my son, not long ago, because like when I went to Las Vegas, he was like, was there a Gucci store there? I like took a picture of a Gucci store for him. I don't know why. He probably heard it on some song or something like that, or some of his friends talk about it. But I told him the other day, like literally like probably like a day or two before I saw these stores come out, I was just like, hey man, you know what? The same stuff that you'll buy like at a Target or Walmart or, some other places is basically the same thing that Gucci is putting out. They just have a name associated with it. Now, yes, they may have, higher quality thread here and there. They may have a higher quality fabric. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a shirt's a shirt. A pullover's a pullover. It's just a name on the front that says it. I mean, I remember going to the flea market when I was a little kid and getting bootleg FUBU and bootleg Tommy Hilfiger.
You got that
Carl
boo-boo?
Kanai. Yeah, I got that boo-boo. Got that bootleg Carl Kanai. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I remember those things. I remember getting cross colors and skids when I was a kid.
Man,
you know what I'm
I always wanted some skids, man.
Cavaricci's.
I remember when you got them skids.
Yeah. Cavaricci's, Jabos, all that stuff from back in the day, which were name brand fashion. But my mom and dad were like, nah, we ain't paying that full amount. You're going to have to pay half, or it's going to have to be your birthday, or there's going to have to be some reason, because you're not exchanging all your clothes that we got and we put patches on or whatever, for this.
For
and
sure.
I didn't realize it at the time because I was a kid, but it's just a name.
It is.
So why don't we, we should definitely try to support, more small businesses, more black businesses, obviously, or just more businesses who aren't trying to charge you an arm and a leg for a shoe or a shirt or, a pullover. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you are paying that money, pay the money to somebody that's small and up and coming and trying to make their way, trying to become their own version of Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies out there. But yeah, I think to a point we are, and like you say, it's in the rap culture, it's in the sports culture, it's in the entertainment industry a lot. Seeing all these people with, the high fashion, high dollar clothing, that we think we have to have it.
That's right.
And I don't know. I mean, I have Jordans. I have one pair of Jordans right now. Do I have two pairs? Yeah, I got one pair of Jordans right now. And I will get some more. And I have other Nikes. Basically, all my shoes are Nikes. And I support Nike because if you look back at the history, obviously they've used us for, the betterment of their company. But also here recently, they supported Serena when she had her issue with the Open. They also supported Colin Kaepernick. And, they knew that their stock was going to take a hit, which nowadays it's all about your stock, you know what I'm saying? All about what your investors are making, to be honest, in the corporate world. So they knew it was going to happen, but hey, yet and still, they still supported these athletes. So I'll support them in that right. But hey, it is what it is. I think we're a slave, yes, and I think we're also a slave, no, because we have a lot of people out here who are creating some dope clothing, like the Quarter Wolves, like like so many others, like Strivers Row, Rich Broke. There's a lot of companies out here, creating stuff for us.
I mean, I would love to make my own sneaker, but let's be real. If I made my own sneaker, how many people would actually buy it just based on, hey, it's a black-owned company, he made his own sneaker. They look all right, but I don't see nobody else rocking them. So, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, the thing that I think nowadays it's all about getting a product ambassador and getting that promotion, getting your name out there. And that's really what it is. Getting your name out there and having somebody that is a known person, a known face, a known artist, or somebody who has some kind of following or who has the potential to trend to some kind of following, to be able to push a product. And so, that's what you got to do. I mean, when you look at T.I.'s post and then, he says, tag a black business or reposting, with some black businesses after that. And some other people who spawned off of that and, said, hey, tag a black business in this post, and we'll try to promote them. I think that's the way, because now it's all social media. Now it's all, impressions and likes and hearts and driven like that, and shares and reposts. It's so I think now you have a better chance now than we would have had 15, 20 years ago of doing this,
right?
Of just coming up with something. So hey, if you create your own, J shoe line, I think it would be pretty interesting because I think I know a few different directions that you go with it. And we just need to find somebody, the right person to promote it, like our boy Sir John Lee.
Yep.
But hey,
that's right.
What's going on in these streets? We just want to know what you guys think about what's going on in these streets. That was our talk. That was our take. But now, if we ain't got nothing else, you know what time it is. JQ's the music.
Boom, boom, boom.
You reach over, squirt some lotion on your hands, rub it together all nice and smooth. Get them all lubed up. Put your rear back and tap that love box.
Okay, I'm getting a visual of this. You put some lube on your hands, and then you reach back. What are you reaching back for?
Well, you like about to smack something. You know what I'm saying? Like you put your hand up.
You're smacking your own ass
with the love box. The love box. Hey, you know what? Everybody has their own definition of what the love box means to them. Live your best love box life and let that definition be your own. I don't know what your love box is different from my love box, Jay.
I mean, some people like their love box in the back.
Some people do.
Okay. I'm sure some people do.
Some people like it higher on their body. Some people like it lower on their body. You know what I'm saying?
Well, all right.
Some people like it around the head and neck region. Some people like it around the pelvis region.
The torso, pelvis.
The torso.
Region. The nether region.
Like it under their arm.
Some people like it in foots.
I mean, maybe that's what Kayla's trying to hide at her house. From her mama, her love box. We don't know where your love box is. You just find a way to tap it as vigorously and as often as you can.
Wow.
It's gentle or it's hard.
And make sure it's lubed up.
Or not. Yes indeed. But Yes, indeed.
Well, with that said,
if you are out there about to and did some research on a geoduck, and now want to try to find the nearest seafood restaurant, seafood shop, that actually sells geoducks, so you can put one in your mouth, tap your lip box.
Wow, put one in your mouth, tap your lip box.
It's a clam, okay? It's a clam. It just happens to look like a penis.
Okay. All right. Wow.
If you think our President Cheeto is way off base and really doesn't know what he's talking about when he says, because of the polar vortex in America, we need global warming. Tap your lip box. Just let that sit and think about that for a second. Because of the polar vortex, we need global warming. He's basically saying it was so cold outside that America needed a blanket, and that blanket is global warming, which also destroys the rest of the world. Come on. Wow. Come on, Cheeto. I mean, this is what I'm thinking.
I mean,
everyone in his cabinet, everyone on his press team, everyone who is a writer for him are all idiots. They're all idiots. Because if you hear that statement, if you hear something like that come out of someone's mouth, that he wrote that down so he could say it in his speech, like anybody with the right mind would know that that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement, number one. Number two, it makes you look stupid because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So they're all idiots.
There's dumb, and then there's Donald Trump.
Dumb and dumbest.
Dumb and dumbest. Wow.
There's no one between.
Wow. All right. If you've seen Childish Gambino's new bleach beard, and you think something went wrong, tap your little box. I don't know where the hell I was going with that. You hadn't seen it? Oh man, okay. I'll just send it to you because it's a sight to see. Definitely.
Childish Gambino, Bleach Bino. Oh my. He looks busted.
It's different.
Yeah. Sorry, Childish. I normally love you, but this is not a good look, my man. It's not a good look.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even look right. It looks like somebody put fake hair on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Edge up is bad too. Looking rough, Childish. Looking rough.
Super rough.
Looking rough these days. All right, so that's a big no for me. It's a hard pass. Wow. Okay. So, if you think that Bow Wow did not dodge in time enough before that lamp hit him across his face, tap your lip box.
Whew.
I think that's part of what happened.
Possibly. Or if you just think he couldn't escape them hands from his woman.
Mm-hmm. Them claws.
Tap your lip box.
She got some claws.
That looked like more than it looked like more than a lamp. Mm-hmm. Looked like them fisticuffs. Pop pop.
Fisticuffs. Fisticuffs was great. Wow.
Wow. What the hell? Wow. So if you think Kanye West has a little too much money and time on his hands by buying a Lamborghini SUV for $350,000, tap your love box. Could have did something a lot more meaningful, but
Lamborghini SUV.
It's called the Lamborghini Urus concept. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Well, all right. Okay.
All right. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. So, we got another sexual misconduct investigation. So AJ, remember AJ?
From AJ Calloway from 106 and Park.
That AJ.
Yep.
So he was suspended from extra amid sexual misconduct investigation. So another person suspended. So if you are down that he's suspended, until we all find out the facts, tap your love box. Who knows what happened? I don't know. I ain't got no time to read up on that. They got too much stuff going on in these streets. But yeah, if you think that 21 Savage is being targeted by ICE because he's really British, at least his homeland is Britain, tap your love box.
If you're starting to feel some way now about Liam Neeson and all the things that have just come to light, tap your love box. It's a lot.
What did Liam Neeson do?
Well, he was on an interview, and I think they were talking about his new movie. And part of me thinks people have kind of jumped to conclusions about stuff, but I could be wrong. My word is not the end all be all of this, just my thought. He was talking about something that happened to a friend of his that got raped, and I guess at that time when he was talking to her, she had said it was a black man, and he said like over the next week or so he was on the lookout for just some black dude or some person, I guess some in his words black bastard to come up and kind of get in his face about something or another, so he could just let loose on him and do whatever. So he got a lot of backlash or blacklash, if you want to call it that, and people calling him a racist for it. Maybe it's just me. I kind of feel a little indifferent about it. I wouldn't necessarily call him a racist. I mean, because I think something like that magnitude, your friend getting raped, and she said it's a person of a certain color that did it. I mean, of course, your emotions are going to flare up and get, it's going to take over about, regarding that. He did say it was like the wrong emotion, the wrong way to feel about that. He said it was completely wrong of him to feel that way. Of course, nothing happened. He didn't do anything to anybody, but that could probably happen to any one of us if somebody, does something to a loved one of us and they said it was this particular type of person. Yeah. And we started to feel a certain way about that. Are we racist about it? I mean, the same thing had happened, and I don't want to bring this up, but back in 9/11, when Muslims there's a big controversy about this too. So when they said that Muslims hijacked the plane and crashed it into the World Trade Center, a whole bunch of Muslims got backlash. I remember this because I was on campus. A lot of the Muslims on campus were getting hate because of something somebody else did. So I mean, it could go for any one of us. That type of feeling could go for any one of us. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
just my opinion.
But the crazy thing is, the crazy thing is that is, a time when their people were getting hatred, and they felt there's a lot of people in their community who felt backlash, which was, not necessary for everyone. It's just specifically the people who were on that plane or the people who were from that specific, hate group, are probably people who should have felt the backlash, but really, everybody else felt the backlash. Everybody of that race, and everybody was blaming everybody of that race, that you're all racist, that you all want to kill us all, that you all hate America, and really, it's a subset of people, and it really shouldn't have been like that.
Yep.
It really shouldn't have been like that. So I don't know. That sucks. I wouldn't say necessarily that he was racist. He definitely should not have said what he said, how he said it. He could have left out the black bastard. He could have just said, I just want to find somebody who gets up in my face, and maybe obviously left out that part. But obviously he didn't. What's said is said, what's done is done, and then people start to make, conclusions about, and conclusions about you, regardless if it's true or not.
Right.
So I would say I don't necessarily think he's a racist, but I will say that, the way he said it,
it does. Like it comes off.
He should have, chose his words a lot more wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I don't know. I just saw a report that Michelle Rodriguez has been dragged in the media or in social media, by our people, for standing up for
defending it now. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, man, and her, I don't know, her comment was sort of silly because she was like, did you see how far down Viola Davis's throat, his tongue was in the movie Widows?
Wow.
Racists don't do that, regardless of what kind of actor you are. No matter how good of an actor you are, you wouldn't do that. Kiss another race you don't like. I'm like,
little left field.
Yeah, right. I'm like, hold on. You're an actor. That's your job, regardless of who it is. Shoot, I remember, having makeout scenes with people who smoke cigarettes, like they're going out of style. I hate cigarette smoke, but you know what? That was my job. I did it. I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To get paid in the end, you got to do what you got to do. So that was sort of an off-base thing, Michelle. But all that being said, I don't think he's a racist. It was just a poorly timed and placed statement. I'm sure if he had an opportunity to explain what he said, obviously he would say, it was a black guy that did it to my friend. Obviously I'm pissed off. So, I don't know who did it, but if somebody got in my face, then, I'd be ready to square up with him.
Yeah.
But hey, you said it, so now you got to live what you said.
Yes, indeedy.
Got to find your way back.
Wow.
There you go. So, the other thing is, if you think it was dope that a Texas grandmother fought off machete-wielding robbers wearing clown masks, and she fought them off with her granddaughter Scooter.
All right.
Tap your love box.
Dang. That's pretty good. Good for her. Man,
go, Grandma.
If y'all excited to see this new Chef movie, tap your love box.
Should be good.
Should be good. I want to see it.
Should be good. If you call eating crawfish the pluck and suck.
Whoa, wait, what?
Box.
Where was that at? Huh?
I saw an exclusive video where some lady named Lolly is in New Orleans.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
Eating crawfish, and she shows everyone how to eat crawfish. She says she calls it the pluck and the suck.
Well, I can't eat crawfish no more now. I think about it.
And you know what she's sucking?
I ain't gonna be able to do it, man.
Do you suck crawfish head?
Come on, man.
Do you like fish sticks?
No, I don't like fish dicks. I'm not Kanye.
I said fish sticks.
Come on, man. I ain't a gay fish.
Shout out to South Park. Sorry if that's problematic, but shout out to South Park's old episode.
Man, that's messed up, man. Because
we're gonna get in trouble for that.
It's like breaking a craw. I mean, you've eaten crawfish before.
I have. I don't sell crawfish heads though. I never have.
Oh, and then you missing all the flavor.
Nah, G. Nah.
Come on, man.
Not about that life. I like the meat and the tail.
That's it.
I mean, I am a butt and thigh man too, so maybe that's what it is. Either way. Either way, I like the meat. So yeah. So hey. There's
okay. All right. Well,
if you can't believe it's hard. Oh wait, no. Pause. If you can't believe that Lenny Kravitz says he's having a hard time finding true love, tap your love box.
Yeah, I find that to be hard to believe. You know,
no one's gonna go his way.
No one. They probably just want him for his crawfish head. Anyway, wow. If you, fellas, if you've been to a yoga class and your eyes couldn't stay to themselves, tap your love box.
Yoga pants are the devil.
They are. Yoga pants are definitely a creation by Satan himself.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. You know, you see the yoga pants, you're like, man. But then when you see what happens when the yoga pants come off, you're like, man. Not in a good way.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, but hey, keep wearing them though, you know, because
I don't complain.
Fuel a bunch of imaginations out there.
Yeah. There's people women wear yoga pants just anywhere. And they don't even do yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't complaining.
Yoga pants is a thing.
I don't complain. But then there's some people who shouldn't wear yoga pants.
Yep. I don't know. It's a good thing though. Hey, thanks whoever decided that yoga pants should be a fashion trend. You know, definitely much appreciated. Even though it is the spawn of the devil. It's
yes. Yes.
For shizzle.
For shizzle, my nizzle. Wow.
Oh man.
If everybody's glad that some Boondocks comic strips have started resurfacing, brand new, I'm so happy. Tap your love box.
Yes, indeed. That'll be dope.
Eric Magruder is back on his grind. Hopefully, we get more comic strips. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So I actually introduced my daughter to some anime this past week, and one of them,
cool.
You know, one of them was Sailor Moon. The other one was Seven Deadly Sins. It's pretty cool. You know, show as well. But as she's looking through my animated titles on Netflix, she sees the Boondocks. And I know that she saw it, but she didn't tell me that she saw this show named The Boondocks. So she's like, Daddy, what does Boondocks mean? And so I told her like the definition of Boondocks, but I didn't tell her about that show because she ain't ready for that yet. But she was great.
Maybe give it a comic strip to read first. Comic strip wasn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe so. But hey, you know, happy to see that back. Happy to see that coming back. If you are excited to go to Tyra Banks' new theme park called Model Land.
What?
Tap your little box. According to Variety magazine, Model Land is set to open in late 2019 in Santa Monica, California. 21,000 square foot space will include both retail and dining options. It is a theme park.
Well, all right.
Tyra trying to break barriers. You know,
okay.
Tyra used to be my girl back in the day, so hey, I support that, Tyra.
Yeah. Tyra was.
There's gonna be a lot of yoga pants there.
For shizzle. Yeah, man. Parents, have y'all ever been on a 10+ hour road trip with your kids, multiple kids, and you didn't lose your sanity? You was able to keep it? Tap your love box, because I'll be doing that this summer. Man.
You'll be fine.
I hope so.
You'll be fine.
5 kids, 4 adults. I should live, I hope, at Disney World.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. It's the most magical place in the world.
Yeah, for my wallet.
Oh yeah, it'll be super expensive too. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
If you think it's dope, if you think this is dope, that Big Boy announced the Dungeon Family reunion tour.
I do. Yeah, I sent that to my homie last night. Man, he's in Houston. Too bad they're not going to Houston. They're coming to Dallas. So I got to see if I want to try to make it to the. I want to. Too bad we might not get an Andre 3000 appearance, but yeah. You know.
Sorry.
It's all good. All right,
he'll probably produce some songs.
Possibly. I think I'm love boxed out. I've tapped too hard.
I got one more.
Tap it.
If you think it's dope that DMX, fresh out of jail, announced the 20th anniversary tour for his debut album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Cool.
Tap your love box.
Dope. That's dope.
That was a good album too. So, anyway, hey, we're love boxed out. If you guys got any love boxes that need to be tapped, make sure you tap them. If you want to tell us about what you're tapping, make sure you tell us, because we want to know. You can call us, just like Jay said earlier. You can DM us. Oh, speaking of DMs, shout out to the John Effect and I'm Just Jackie, because we're working on some time to get back together with them on a show. And shout out to What Up Man Pod. We're working on some time to get with them again on a show, and a couple others out there. And we're still trying to line up some time with Kayla after her surgeries and recoveries to get her back on the show. We got some things, going down in the DMs. We just trying to make it happen the right way possible. But Jay, at this point, why don't you tell the people where to find us?
All right, peeps, you can find us 385. Oh wait, excuse me, I'm all out. A couple hours of sleep, people. I'm kind of out of whack. Twitter, Instagram, #BlackoutPods, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Anchor, YouTube, Spreaker. If we ever clean out the drive and get more space, hit us up. Google voicemail 385-3BLAKPC or 385-325-2572. Send us something that you want us to talk about. Topics, confessions, something. #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Do that there. If you are serious about some gaming, hit up bossboxes.shop. Get yourself a box, 10% off when you put Blackout 10 in the checkout. Yeah, you can play all sorts of games. Get you some energy drinks and snacks and gamer controller skins. Not sure if they make one for the Soulja console yet, but they're coming.
Coming.
Yep. Also, hit up Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. What's the new website name? Or the website address?
It is hooksrubs.business.site, or you can just go on Hooks, Rubs, and Spices on the Instagram feed, and click the link in the bio. It'll take you right to the site.
Nice. Dope.
There you go.
So, yeah, do that. Get yourself some hooks. The spring will be here soon. If we could get through this schizophrenic winter, where it's 70 degrees one day and 20 the next day. Yeah, so spring will be here soon. Barbecue will be lighting the air, filling the air in your neighborhood. Especially if you're in a black neighborhood, it'll be full of smoke. So get yourself some hooks to put on your meat, rub it through, massage it in, put it on the grill, cook it, eat it, share it with your family, all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yes indeed. And on that Hooks Rub site, like I've said past show or two, Hooks Rubs is partnered up with Landman Smokers. Landman with 2 N's on it. Smokers, and they're an ambassador for them. So check them out. Also, on the Hooks Rub site, you will see a link to ThermoWorks thermometers, the best thermometers in the game. I kid you not, for your meat. for your baking, for your baking and candy making, endeavors. If you need a thermometer just to take your temperature on a daily basis, I would not recommend this, but it could actually do that too. Extremely accurate. All the best chefs and pretty much all the best restaurants in the world use them, as well as barbecue cooks.
And the best doctors.
Best doctors.
Man.
That's right, the meat doctors. So, the way to get the best taste in food, comes down to a lot of things. It comes down to flavor, which Hooks, Rubs, and Spice can help you out with. It comes down to the way and the temperature at which you cook, and what the temperature of the food is when it's done, or to say it's done, to make sure it's safe to eat, to make sure that the candy is cooked properly, whatever it is. Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, ThermalWorks, they can help you out. So there's a link on there, a couple links on there actually, to get a couple of their less expensive products, which is which is what I would definitely pub, getting one of their instant read thermometers, using them, and changing your whole food lifestyle. Make it about change. Make it the right way. Oh, and there's something else Hooks, Rubs, and Spices has in the works right now. So just stay tuned, because it may be pretty big for them. So we'll see.
Cool. Well, there you go. There you go, people. Happy Black History Month. Celebrate Black History every month if you can. This is just a anniversary month. So, yeah, there you go. Have a great day whenever you're listening to this. And we'll be back next week with another amazing episode where we talk about randomness. Yes. And I'm just rambling on right now.
Random ramblings with Rob.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
All right.
Blacked out.
Blacking out. Let's go.